Hello, this is 3020 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and I'm sitting in the play chair tonight because somebody else is running things. I am lucky though because all these wonderful friends and people that I know, and they're all friends, have come to play with me this evening, and that makes me happy. These people are. Let's start with Sarah. Tell us where we can find you when you're not here. I can always tell when you're not ready. I can always tell.
No. Okay. So I have my YouTube channel, Tangor Productions. There is some stuff in the works that we might have over there soon.
Ooh,
I can't talk about it quite yet.
soon TM.
I'm still working on Bravely Broken.
Yeah.
It's coming along, I
Yep.
promise. I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And I run the Thursday game,
Yes.
Deviant Futures. I in tonight, and I'm also in the Sunday game. I now have a list that I'm following.
There you go.
Wonderful. I'm just making notes because I forget stuff. Next, Shadow/Shadowmancer. Where can we find you when you're not here?
Hello, folks. When I'm not here playing Moses/Lester, you can find me Thursday nights in Deviant Futures as Woodja, the what should we call him? The grumpy undead fairy.
I think that's the best way to explain. But
Yeah.
also somehow he's the glue that sticks with the group, and I don't understand how you all do it.
Sometimes you need the curmudgeon to hold everybody together. And then Sunday nights, I'm in Gorgeous Theta as George St. Germain. And I paused there for a moment as I realized that it's kind of Gerard doing the same thing there. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking somewhere along the lines I need to change a pattern.
Play something that isn't a cleric at heart.
Hard for me.
Next, yeah. So, pop some links in there if you've got them or anywhere that you're playing that you would like folks to see. We will move on. Next, we have Amy with us this evening. Thank you for joining us. And where can we find you? What are you doing?
Playing a bit more 14, Final Fantasy 14 recently, bit of League, less RuneScape. Yeah. Don't really have any socials to share, so.
Oh, that's okay. It's all good. We don't all. We're not all like me and desperate need to show off in public. Chaos goblins are present. Yes. Larry and Curly are on for Mo. Well, I certainly can't do Curly. Okay. We should start because I left the last person for the last for the obvious reason. It is da na 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 Bat Kyle. Yeah, the
Yo.
music is copyrighted. I couldn't do it anymore.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Don't wanna get the strike. You can find me, of course, here pretty much every Tuesday, trying to get these guys to do anything related to my storyline, and mostly just kind of adapting to where it actually ends up. Along with that, I do some of the Friday fun shots when I can because they're fantastic. And we can talk about it now.
Yes.
Coming up, I will be on the Monday game, which is going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer game based on the Unicore system. I'll be doing that with the lovely Gloriosa, with Mana as well, Edward, and it's run by Chris, otherwise known as Wayward. That's going to be fantastic. The sort of tutorial for the system is going to be streamed on Monday the 13th, and the game should be starting on the 27th. 2 weeks from then, 2 Mondays from then. When is that?
Yeah. And I'll just answer chat actually.
13th, 27th. Yep. That's when we'll actually have the first session. It's going to be fantastic. I definitely look forward to that. Otherwise, I mod for a bunch of streams, including that of Gloriosa. When we do like bad movie nights on Fridays and any other time she's Feeling up to streaming?
I said yes. I can feel the nervous tension in the background, getting ready for events. And to answer chat, this is actually the second announcement of the Buffy game. Wondrously, marvelously, and due to good luck rather than good timing, Chris was actually able to announce their game on Saturday during
yep.
Dead to Rights. So this is the
Yeah.
backup for that.
Nice. Sharkula. God, I love that
yes,
movie.
Mayor.
Sharkula.
Are you sure that's what you want to watch this week?
We've already watched it. I would watch it
even
again,
better.
though.
Okay, so with that,
All right, so
let's play some game. Go.
okay, so to catch everybody else up, when last we left our stars, let's see, they had managed to brew an alcohol that calcifies organic material. Father, otherwise known as Bang, but currently masquerading as a priest. God help everyone involved in that. Managed to get one of those bottles stolen by a unfortunate gentleman who they had the experience of watching calcify before their eyes. Along with that, there were 2 murders for that day. One the previous day, and then one that they'll find out about this morning. Elizabeth tried to make herself bait to lure Honest John out to try to take her vital fluids. Hopefully, of course, they were hoping Irene could stop that from happening, but instead of that, she just got hit on a lot by a lot of drunken assholes, as often happens. Lester, our wonderful friend, recovers this morning from his experience with a pinchy, stingy boy in his boot, part of the cure of which rendered his facial hair and hair, just all his hair, purple, kind of like, Kevin's beard there, but fading quickly. And this is, of course,
Also like Kevin's
due to...
beard.
but also, of course, due to the fact that Elizabeth tried to help and did so by reaching into her bag of wonders, otherwise known as the bag of all the bottles that don't have labels, looking at one of them, saying, "This looks like it's the right hue," and hoping for the best. Surprisingly, it did help, just not necessarily the way that it was intended. Yes, purple pubes. That happened. All the hair.
Yes.
Even like if there's a little patch at the small of the back or a bit of a hairy backside, whatever it is, like hair, if he's got those little hairs on the toes of his knuckle, like the little toe knuckles, that's all purple.
Yeah,
All his nose hair.
Nose hair, the whole thing. Now, did you all? I don't remember if we left it. Did you all actually go back to the cabin after the failed attempts to catch Honest John out?
We all met up somewhere.
Yeah, I don't
Was it
remember
all?
where.
It was. Yeah. Yes, it was because we had. I remember the discussion about who had horses and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay, so all right, everybody went back. So Edward is going to sit and tinker with the death rock, as they've come to call the tainted ghost rock, and see what else he can come up with, and leave everything else to those we have here with us. So the night went over. Only one person was calcified. 2 people so far have turned up drained of their vital fluids. And over to you guys. Let's start.
So where the hell? No, I can't say it because we don't know the information. I had a great line, but we don't know the information, so never mind.
Nope. Well, I will give you this. Elizabeth being the one who normally stays, Irene being the one who normally stays in town, would hear in the morning about the second person found drained of their vital fluids. and there is talk of a rogue chupacabra going around because people are idiots and don't know their mythology. But obviously, that's probably not the case. And so I will leave it up to you if you are going to maybe grab some breakfast and take it out to talk to everybody because you know where they are, or if you'd rather stay in town.
I think Percy's gonna just ask around a bit about the new victim.
The new victim was a shy young man staying in a tailor's shop. He was an apprentice. He didn't really get out much. He wasn't incredibly social, but he was really good at what he did. He seemed like he had a talent that really would have taken him far if he'd been allowed to survive and keep all his juices in his body.
I see where the goat theory is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, but instead he was sucked dry like a Capri Sun on a hot day, and we have our first break. Outstanding. So, and that's the information that you get. Nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. He was found out in the alley behind the building, behind the tailor shop that he had been staying in. The tailor does not actually live there. He had his own little house. He just let the apprentice stay upstairs as kind of a security thing.
Where was this relative to where we saw the footprints?
This is way down. The footprints that you saw were heading out into the desert, pretty much straight away.
Because when Amanda was acting as bait, Irene saw a figure skulking behind some of the buildings. She went over and checked the footprints on that.
Oh, yeah. They would have been in line. They were kind of in line with where Irene or Elizabeth felt she was being tracked, and Irene could see that somebody was kind of shadowing her. But by the time Irene could get over there to check again, the place has been pretty, this was in town. It wasn't out at the edge. It wasn't some poor little nun. The tailor is a person of some means and was fond of poor Jacob. And so is raising more of a stink. And of course, this is also the second body. So the sheriff actually has to act like he cares.
Yeah. Is he doing anything of note?
Nothing of real note. I mean, he kept people away. He couldn't keep people from seeing the body and kind of deducing who it was and everything. But, he had the body taken away pretty quickly, had some deputies kind of cordon off the area for a while and search for clues, but they didn't search super hard. It was more of knowing how a search would actually go, you could tell it was pretty much a kind of a dog and pony show, just to trying to make it look like the deputies are on the case, but they got nothing. They got nothing.
So Irene wouldn't have seen the body to check for the shadow being missing again.
No, wouldn't have seen the body. Would have just heard about the juicies.
Well, she'll grab lunch and head out to update the others.
Alrighty. Well then, after the bit of the morning passes,
I spend the morning taking some little glass container and trying to make it look like a little container of holy water. And it's just going to have regular water in it. It's just coming out of my canteen, hanging on part of my new vestments. And then I also want to take some of the death rock and make a little wooden cross out of a couple little pieces of scrap wood that I find laying around, and just rub the ghost rock into the wood so it's as saturated as I can get it. Oh, not the ghost rock, the death rock into the wood so it's as saturated as I can get it.
All right, give me a smarts roll before you do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna
smarts. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be good at. That's one of those. And wildebeest, wild score. That's good because I got a 5 with the wild die. So that D10
perfect.
rolled a feckin' 2.
Then you'll
I forgot. Yeah,
you'll have the presence of mind to maybe try and get some gloves or something before you do that, because
good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
because otherwise the sweat, moisture, or something could set up the ghost rock. And while it can be good to not have fingerprints, it's not great to not have fingertips.
Yes, yeah. Imagine, yeah, finish it up and peel the gloves off, and the fingers are almost gone. It's, oh shit! They're trying to do that thing like when you dye your beard and you're trying to get the gloves off without getting dye everywhere. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So you've got
And
your
leave it in the sun to dry. Yeah.
okay. So you've got that done. Amanda, what would you be doing that morning before Irene makes it out?
She would be trying to figure out like how, like what's the perfect trap in this. Because obviously he needs food. He needs like sustenance, so there obviously has to be a way to bring him out.
Know any virgins? Of course, you wouldn't actually know that part yet.
No.
That's what I almost started by blurting out. So how are we going to find a virgin? You can't just walk around asking people.
I mean, you can.
Once, maybe twice. And you're going to get arrested again. But yeah, we don't know that.
All right, so you're coming up with a cunning plan. Maybe catching Moses up on what happened.
Yeah.
Yep. Moses, you wake up this morning feeling a little achy from, having laid there, kind of sweating out the badness. And for some reason, when you wake up, everything smells a little bit like boysenberry.
Do I want to ask?
I'm sorry?
I'm looking at you, Elizabeth. Do I want to ask?
I think it's just one of them side effects that kind of happens when I don't make sure the bottles are right, but it should be all right.
This was one of your bottles.
Yes. It helped you. It got you better. It got you better.
That it did. As I said, I should just be thankful that I'm alive and not a turnip.
Exactly.
If you got one of those that turns people into turnips, you definitely have to put a label on that one. Through the window from outside.
Now, we have a calcified person.
Oh.
Yes.
And
I know, I can tell you how that happened.
Please enlighten me.
They were imbued with the Holy Spirit. They drank some shit that turned them into stone, and it was because I turned my back on it and they stole it.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm father now.
Good to know. Who made the stuff in the bottle that you turned your back on?
Oh, I thought you were going to blame me. It was him. And I pointed at Edward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a beat.
Yes.
I think I'm pretty sure Bang. They both just.
Edward's out by the still and just kind of.
I had a 1 in 3 chance. It was one of the three of you. Although he was on the low end, the probability, since, well, I didn't ask if it was plant-based, so never mind, that was on me. All right. So we know it's causing the calcification, and we know not to let anybody drink it. And I'm just going to have to ask, are those bottles labeled?
Yes, they are. Against my better judgment, but Edward and I agree that these need to be labeled.
I would concur with that as well.
Can we call him fossil fuel?
Draw a chip for that. Draw a Benny for that.
A
Yes.
blue. Oh, the ultimate. Oh.
Sure, it's not
Thank you.
purple. Now tell me about this body that was found outside of a. Did you say it was a church?
Mm-hmm. She was about to become a nun when, well, my theory is that Honest John used the shadow magic and took her shadow away.
Which is why we figured we should find John and then just bring the light. Then he can't get away. No shadows,
Well-
nowhere to go.
Let me ask. Did she have a shadow?
It was gone.
From what Irene told us, it was gone.
And Irene's not here right now. So we don't know anything else other than she was dead with no shadow. How did she die?
Well, it looked like someone turned her into a piece of jerky.
Set her out in the sun and let her dehydrate?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that we're in the middle of the desert. That happens anyway, but usually not overnight.
This may have taken, we don't know how long.
Well,
We just know she was found outside the back of the church.
found outside the church. Seen the previous day, I'm taking a guess.
Correct. The body was found.
Found the next, right. So we know it happened at least overnight
Correct.
And
because it's
then,
very difficult for somebody to go from walking around and talking to desert jerky without being.
So
Yeah.
my thought is obviously he needs shadows. So that's why I kind of put myself out there and hope for the best.
I'm sorry, you put yourself out there.
Last night I went walking around and hoping like he might show up with Irene watching me.
Now, I do have one thing to point out. Don't you think our new benefactor would have mentioned if taking somebody's shadow does this to him? Because after all, his shadow was taken.
You would think, but I wonder how much he's keeping from us because he did say that it was nasty what you have to do to keep that magic going.
our friend in town whose name temporarily escapes me filled us in on those facts just yesterday.
Hank,
Thank you, Hank.
yes. Yes, Hank did remind you all, or did tell you all, that to keep the artifacts that Honest John is using to keep hold of the shadow powers, it took some really nasty sacrifice.
Yes. And apparently it takes more than just sashaying up and down the street. Because, I mean, to be fair, you drew a lot of attention.
Maybe that's where I went wrong.
Exactly. If you drew too much attention,
So tonight then, my plan's to stay to the shadows.
well, where was this church?
Right in town. And unfortunately, the actual location escapes me. So
It's at the very edge of town, out towards the road.
Yeah.
And the back of the church was facing away from the town, obviously.
Yeah, the back of the church. There's nothing back in the church except a whole lot of scrub desert.
No mention of the Chupacabra rumors. But... Does Irene have to bring that up?
Irene might have to bring that up.
Well then,
Hark, I hear Irene in the distance. Thinking too hard. Thinking too hard. Do stuff. When we get back into town, I got a couple places I gotta go.
All right then.
And I'll say just about now Irene arrives.
All right.
But we'll just make the father-father thing really awkward and then allow it to happen.
Oh, I got a vision from God that you were coming. Hi. Hey.
Is this?
Just,
Is he just getting too much into his role, or?
I think so.
I think he's been out in the sun a bit too long. Maybe hitting that ghost rock a bit too much. There's another body in town, same as the last one. Well, no, the nun one, not the calcified statue one.
Is it one or is it none one?
None
Oh,
of the
the
above.
nun one. I see. Okay. Is this another nun? No. That's what you said, right?
It was some Shelton Taylor's apprentice. It was found out behind the tailor shop.
Taylor's
Is-
apprentice.
Is there anything behind there?
Is it a one-street town?
Tombstone was pretty much a one-street town at this point. It's a log street. There are, it's not really considered a street behind the buildings of the main thoroughfare. They're more like some sheds. There are some, small houses and things, but that's not considered a proper street. That's just
Yeah.
the
They
stuff behind.
They didn't really do alleys.
Yeah.
Just sheds and outhouses. That sort of shit.
So we gotta get back into town before dark, and it sounds like we gotta stay on the perimeter of town because that's where he's coming from or picking from. And we somehow have to find young people who want to walk around and be bait without really knowing they're bait, but we can't ask them because that'd be creepy and their parents would kill us. Have I got that about right?
Something like that. And the sheriff's had to get involved now. He's chasing these chupacabra rumors.
Chupacabra.
That's what they're saying it was. Some idiot doesn't know what a chupacabra does.
Yeah, these aren't goats. These are people.
They're pretty good people, but yeah, they're not goats.
I heard you weren't even particularly good at what they did, never mind greatest of all time.
Have you been able to take a look at any of these people?
I gotta look at the nun, but the sheriff got rid of the tailor's apprentice before anybody could really get a look at it.
Now, the only description I have of the nun is she was basically desert jerky.
Yeah, like, was there a visible bite wound or anything? Or
No, there was no noticeable bite wound on the first victim, and from what you can glean by talking to the people who actually saw the second body, it's much the same. It looks like
just
maybe all their bodily fluids just evaporated or something, but there were no like bite wounds or stab wounds, or it wasn't like a giant mosquito landed and went on them. So
that rules out a few denizens of the knot that I can think of. Although it doesn't rule out. I know that Honest John is our main goal here, but we also have to remember there could be other things that go bump in the night that could be doing this. So while we're making our plans on luring this thing out and trapping it, we have to keep that in mind. Is Honest John in town already? Do we know this?
Not openly, as far as I heard. I've been listening for rumors of him being around, but I ain't heard anything.
We had rather presumed that this was them, what with the shadow stealing and Hank's information. I almost forgot him again. Great person, really forgettable name.
I just think that it has to be him, right?
Even if it isn't, we're going to be heroes if we kill it.
Well,
Which might give us a little bit of a leg up when he does show to prove that he ain't all that great.
and it's entirely possible that it's a coincidence of the same person being a victim of two different attacks. If Honest John stole this young woman's shadow and then she was attacked by something else that placed her on the list of the deceased. What we need to find out is if this young Caleb boy is also missing his shadow.
Irene, you got in to see the first body, right?
Yeah.
You think you could get in to see the second one?
I don't know. I haven't talked to the sheriff yet, and he seems like the kind with a not so much a stick as a large branch up his ass.
But there's a simpler solution. We just need to go see the photographer.
That would work too.
He'll do the corpse portrait, and we can tell from there whether or not the corpse has a shadow.
Yeah. I want absolutely, positively, no other reason whatsoever. I want to go see that photographer too.
Bang.
Yes? Okay, I had an idea. They use that powder to make the flash that goes boom that makes a big light when they take the picture. And we need to make a big light so he doesn't have a shadow. I was already planning on getting kerosene and we just, this is perfect, kerosene and flash powder. Bang! Oh, shh, don't say my real name.
Yes, Father. It makes a very bright light.
Yeah, for a second.
What?
And then it will light all the kerosene on the ground, and then it might put it all around him and no shadows.
Well, if I remember my scriptures right, it doesn't say anything about having to stay in the light, just finding the light.
That's right. I'm going to bring the light. I'm going to shove it right up his ass. Hey, man.
Makes it hard to see it, but he should discover it quite nicely.
Oh, I got a way to let it out.
I'm wondering, so if I stand on the edge of town and y'all set this up, could we catch it?
Okay, but you're going to have to sexy it up a bit. I'm sorry, Sarah.
You imply she don't look mighty fine already.
Well, it's nothing. It just didn't work last night, and you can see bang through all the dirt and all the filth. He's realized what he said, and the red is just rising, and he's just trying to dig his way out of this hole. No, it's nothing. Like, in fact, no, don't say that either. No, you did fine. It just didn't work. That's all.
I know it didn't work. It didn't work because I was getting too much attention. If I stand on the farther away from people, it might work.
And now that we have a second victim, we also know now that it may not be of the carnal nature that he's picking the victims.
Taylor's apprentice was a young, strapping young lad, from what I heard. Didn't get out much, but
And until we know whether or not he has a shadow, the only thing we have tying them together right now is the similar forms of exploration.
Both young, but
Oh, we're not learning anything else out here.
This is true. We do need to get into town and try and put a few things together.
Agreed.
But we kind of gotta go in sneaky, right?
Is there a reason why we need to be sneaky?
Well, there was rather a kerfuffle the last time we were in town.
I think as long as Edward keeps that Holy Spirit out here, I think we'll be okay.
as long as Father here doesn't run over anyone with a cart this time.
That as well. I totally forgot that happened.
Before we go back into town, Bang is going to find a like a bottle of fossil fuel. It's coming with. There's no question. I got a list here of stuff that he needs. That's one of the. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Amanda sees me. Maybe they don't. But I am absolutely going to get the bottle.
No,
Just
she
one.
would care enough.
Okay.
What do I need to roll to make sure I'm watching?
Give me a notice roll. And
I'm absolutely rolling this too.
Thank you.
all right, and if Bang has any skills or talents
Ooh.
that you think would help him hide this attempt,
Like stealth.
like stealth,
Oh,
yes.
stealth is a good one. Yeah.
You got a
I got-
2?
I got 2.
4, 6, 8. That's an 8 and a 5.
2 on both my.
Ooh, I
rolled them
maxed
both,
the
and I got
8.
2 2s.
Oh, only 9.
That's
Nice.
4 and a 3 for me.
Yeah.
2 successes. I will remind you all that you have chips.
Oh,
It depends on how important this is to you.
No, this is important to her.
1d6.
I'll burn them.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, I won't.
Maybe roll both or
I
It
met
depends
again.
on
Yes.
which chip that you're
Yes.
which chip that you're using.
only rolled.
If you want to add, you roll a d6 and add. You can use a red, but that means the marshal gets a red chip to use against us later.
All I got is-
Or if you use a blue, then you get to roll and add a d6 and with no consequences.
And a white.
And yes, they're all done. White is re-roll.
Right, it's just a straight reroll. Yep.
Yeah, re-roll a
So
trait.
do I
Keep
reroll
to
both
higher.
or just straight?
Okay, I'll just re-roll a white then. 'Cause I have 2 white.
If you remember, if you max, it explodes. So if you rolled a max on the die, roll it again and add.
That's
Oh,
a 2.
okay. Same
And
die?
yes, we're playing
6.
use it or lose it chips. End of the session.
Same die, whatever the die was for your original roll.
That'd
So
be
you
And
got
not re-rolling the wild die.
nope.
And a 2. So 4 and a 2.
So 6.
Yep.
You still did not beat Bang's stealth roll of 9. That's 2 successes for Bang. So despite your eagle-eyed
Steven
attempts to
drinks
keep
food.
an eye, Bang just manages to secrete a bottle that had been kind of off to the side.
Sorry, I put an E on the end of secrete, and then I had an image of me squeezing the liquid out into a bottle as I
Yeah.
secreted.
I just don't want to think about where
Sorry.
he's.
He's hiding it in the old prison wallet. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's what I was trying not to think about.
If you want to know when he's retrieving it, just listen for the straining noises.
Just hope that corn don't pop out.
Yep. You're gonna hear.
Just think about what happens if that bottle springs a leak in that wallet.
Yep. Guys, help me. No,
Nope, you started it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the butterball blockers.
I did. This is entirely on me, and I
I
love
got,
it.
a, I got
So-
a pocket full of death rock. You just better hope I don't get incontinent and pee on it. So, yes, back into town. Probably. We should go.
All right. Yep. Is everybody going except obviously Edward, who's staying behind to tend his still of doom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I
And
will
helping other
drop
people.
off. I sort of drop off a mile out of town and sneak in again, like I did before.
All right. How is everybody? Like, is everybody else staying together? Are you all trying to like separate it out and stagger it? You still have a horse or
Oh no,
two,
wait a
and
minute.
you have the wagon.
I retract that. They're looking for Bang. Father is clearly not Bang, and is clearly not the other guy either.
Hmm.
So yeah, pardon me. I stay on the cart, proudly religious, holding my soaked, wearing a glove and holding my cross. Yes, there. Almost forgot who I was.
She's probably just on her own horse, trying not to be associated with this card.
Fair
I have no
enough.
idea what they did with the cart, but I might as well stay with it for now.
Well, the cart's what they took into town yesterday. It's what they took over to the church after Irene had inspected the body. So it is kind of at this point, it's not a standout cart. It's not like anything super special, but seeing Father sitting in the cart, brandishing his cross, definitely kind of gives it a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain recognizable branding.
Yes.
So that is now the Holy Spirit's cart.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which hopefully people know not to steal off of this time.
No.
Well, no, nobody knows. They went
Nobody
to great
knows. No,
lengths to make sure there was no connection.
There are no living witnesses.
Now, everybody, when you get into town, give me a notice roll.
Oh yeah. That's
3 and a 4 again.
No, 4 will get you a success.
5. So 1 success.
8.
Oh, all right. And 1, you got 1 on both dice?
1 and a 3.
A 1 and a 3. Okay.
Okay.
So everybody who got at least 1 success notices the calcified wino is now rather set up as almost like a mascot in the front of the saloon known as the Lead Nugget.
Irene just face palms.
It's still in the clothes. It's still like, but there are now
Look
empty
up-
bottles
oh.
in the hand. You can tell they've kind of been like sort of taped to the hand.
I look over at Amanda. That's sacrilege, that is.
There's a little sign that says "Get stoned" at the Lead Nugget hanging around his neck.
And to think, Father, you could have used that as a warning to the perils of drinking.
Oh, it's not drinking that's the problem. It's not that you're drinking. It's what you're drinking. That's the problem.
It's danger drinking spirits.
Yeah, you can drink, like, liquor's fine for most people, and other stuff is fine for other people, but nobody wants to drink that shit. As we drop, I point at the guy that's all turned to stone. That's the kind of
Well-
person that gives stoners a bad name. Can't stop.
You have to admire their ingenuity at advertisement, I might say.
I don't think they quite realize that's a corpse.
Oh, I think they do. I just think they're capitalists at heart. And it shouldn't bother me, but it does.
Says the guy who melted somebody from the ass up.
Yeah, yep. And who turned his back on the stuff that turned that dude into stone. Yep, absolutely. You have to be humble before you can be pure.
Right.
All right, so even if you didn't get anything on the notice roll, you'll also get the sense that there's an undercurrent of unease in the town now, an understandable one. You've got somebody turned to stone. You've got 2 people showing up as plain beef jerky. Pretty sure none of them are teriyaki flavored. Didn't really have the chance to check, but your loss. During the daylight, people seem a little more comfortable, but there's still kind of that eyes glancing at any shadows, and people are keeping hands a little closer to the guns, staying together kind of in groups. It's not putting a huge damper on Tombstone because Tombstone is kind of used to weird shit, but weird shit that kills without leaving any traces in a really gruesome manner is enough to put even a really, hardened gunfighter or cowhand kind of on edge.
Yeah. I need
So
a couple
how do
liters of
we-
kerosene. That's all Bang needs. Sorry, quarts. Whatever the appropriate equivalent is. I don't know.
Hogsheads.
Hogsheads. So yeah, I just need a couple liters of kerosene from the general store, and then we were gonna go see the photographer, right? That
Mhm.
was Moses' idea.
The photographer, and I'm thinking maybe the Tombstone epitaph.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we wish to go separate ways to do this, or are we going to make a picnic out of this?
Separate ways might not be a bad idea.
I'm gonna go to the tailor shop. I'm gonna ask a couple questions about I guess, the victim.
Father, do you want to go to the photographers?
You were, yeah, yeah, absolutely, yes, let's do that. Let's go to the photographers because I want some flash powder.
And then I shall head to the epitaph.
I think Amanda will go with, or Irene will go with Amanda because, yeah, she's the one who's particularly invested in investigating these deaths.
All right, so let's go with. I'm gonna go with Moses. Give me odds or evens.
Odds.
Okay, it
Yeah.
occurs to you in this planning that you're letting Father wander off on his own, because nobody else was going.
Well, I thought we were
To the
both going to
pictures.
the.
No, Moses
Oh,
was
it's
going to
just
the
me going.
epitaph.
Okay.
Amanda was going to
Yeah.
the
Okay.
tailors with Irene.
I played it back in my head now. Yep.
This is the last time I'm going to warn you all about letting Bang off on his own. After this, it's entirely on you, and it's going to be a role play learning experience. But
I am entirely aware that Bang was going alone,
Yeah.
or
Irene's not so familiar with him.
Yep.
and I have
Amanda's learned her
and
lesson that
that's
you
not-
have.
I've decided it's best not to be associated with Father, if something should go wrong at the photographers.
Okay, that is
that's
valid.
Entirely valid.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
outstanding. I just threw it out there. Like I said last time. After this, I'll assume it's
Yeah. It's
It's on purpose.
voluntary.
Yeah.
they're just going to give him some candy
You-
and send him off
you
to.
took the leash off the dog. You knew what you were doing.
Yep.
Fully
All
aware of
right.
what I have done, because the last time I tried to put a leash on that dog, it fell off of a horse.
Yep.
That's true. That's
And
very
yeah,
true.
faked
You're
an attack
absolutely,
on
absolutely
itself.
legit with Bang arrested and in jail. That's just another distraction for you guys. So yeah, this is a no lose situation for the party.
This is using my assets to the best of their capabilities.
Yep.
Yep, and I can respect that. Take
I heard
a
what you called me.
pull a chip. Moses.
Bang arrested in the jail. At least we know where he is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only way we'll know where he is.
What's your address? Just start in the local jail and work your way out from there.
All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3 different groups. Let's see who we're starting with. Bang!
Okay. You scared me.
Oh, sorry. Father.
Yes.
As everyone splits up, it might occur to you that you don't actually know who the photographer is.
What a photographer is, or where the photographer is.
Where the photographer is.
Okay, yeah. So, first person I see, I don't care, class, anything. The first human being I see. Hey, excuse me.
Oh,
Hi.
It's an older woman with a little parasol. Looks like her dress used to be really nice, but it's kind of worn now. She goes, "Well, hey, sailor.
Oh,
Looking for a good
hey.
time."
I'm on a message. I'm on a mission from God. Just a second. I turn around and have a tiny little puff of ghost rock. Just, okay, I'm on a mission from God. I need a photographer and a naked lady.
Well, it's not the strangest request I've had, so if you're paying, I can take you to a photographer who will do that.
Perfect. Let's go.
All right. Just this way, sugar. And she kind of hooks an arm and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
squirts. And of course, Bang may or may not notice the funny looks that he may be getting from people who know that, she's obviously a woman of negotiable affection and he's still dressed as a priest. But,
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way the world
whatever
works.
you do, don't pour water on me.
I will keep that in mind. So tell me how you want it. Do you want to do things to me? Do you want to watch people do things to me? Do you want to watch me do something to myself? How is this going to work?
I want all of those things, but right now I just need somebody to distract the photographer.
Okay. She obviously starting to have like second thoughts about this, but is going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, this will run you $10.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no problem at all. I definitely have $10.
And she's so hold on. All right, she's so kind of weirded out by this whole situation at this point that she doesn't ask for the money up front like she normally would. So after a little bit of wandering, she takes you into a photography studio. This one doesn't seem dedicated to corpses. This one seems more of the taking pictures of family and, yes, the more sort of racy boudoir shots and things like that. The gentleman behind the counter is very thin and kind of reedy looking. He looks like he's really trying and has been for the last 20-something years to grow a mustache, and all he really has is some kind of greasy hairs that are just dark enough to notice. Definitely gives you that sort of shouldn't be near playgrounds vibe, even though he's just kind
That's
of creepy
okay,
by
'cause,
nature.
Yeah, we've made it very clear that the person of negotiable affections is well above.
Well, yeah,
Well above the Okay.
Yeah, she's definitely in her 40s, which
Yeah.
is why she was kind of trolling during the day instead of.
So
She.
I just walk in and like not even let him speak. Just like, you need to give her $15 and take naked pictures of her all afternoon. You're welcome. Don't think about it. Time's ticking.
No, I have to think about it because that's not how this normally works. Normally, I am paid to take the pictures. You give me money,
Naked
then I take
lady.
the pictures.
Do I need to say that again? All afternoon. Do I need to say that again? $15 is a deal.
Sir, it is very easy to procure the services of a naked lady in Tombstone.
Well, considering plan 2 is I melt you into a puddle on the floor in about 3 fucking seconds, how about you give the lady $15 and take her picture this afternoon?
Sir, I'm going to ask you to leave. And his hand is obviously sneaking under the counter.
Mm-hmm. Don't do it. And I grab my holy water and my cross.
It's like, I can't shoot a man of the cross. Okay,
The power of the Lord compels you. Take naked pictures.
What kind of fucking priest are you? Where did you find this guy? And the woman just kind of,
I've
Out in
been
the street?
defrocked more times than you've been frocked.
I've never been frocked. What is frocked? Go frock yourself.
I'm gonna, right after you agree to give this nice lady a bunch of money and take her picture naked, for God's sakes.
Look, I will take the pictures, but I'm not paying out of my own pocket for this. It's already going to cost me materials and time. You have to promise to leave when I am done, hopefully before I'm done.
I'll leave before you start. I don't even care.
Then why are you doing this?
Because the lady seems very much in need.
Then just give her money. Why the fuck did you have to bring her here to get her naked for pictures if she's in need? And
Because I don't have the money.
she's like, you don't have the money.
I don't have the money. That's why I'm getting him to pay.
All right. Do you have any sort of persuasion skill whatsoever?
I do, actually. I have bumped it one notch, so I get 6s.
Okay, give me a roll.
One of those is a 6,
All right.
and a 3, so 9.
I'm gonna see if he can resist that. No, that's a 1, in fact. So he actually just stops and he goes, all right, you know what? I'm going to count this as a good deed. This better be some sort of holy fucking karma.
Oh, you're in. You're in.
Are you-
Like second pew on the left, dude. Like, yeah, boom, there you go.
Okay, so he actually digs out the money, gives her some money. It says, go stand over there. We'll start without going to full disrobe. Like, starts really directing her
Yep.
through this, setting up the
just-
camera.
As soon as they engage, he turns around and walks out. He's not even going to steal from this one. He's decided. He's just doing a good deed. Okay, now I got to go find that legitimate bastard. Excuse me. Can you tell me where the person that photographs the dead people is?
Oh yeah. You want
I should have
Roy.
been more specific last time.
You should have. Last time. He gives you some directions.
Oh,
He
bless
sends
you.
down.
Oh. And yeah, I will now head off to the proper one. Sorry. Yeah, I will head off to the proper one now.
I'm gonna give you another Benny for that one too. I was not expecting it.
Oh, a red one. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay. So
So many chips.
we're gonna come back to you
Yep.
on
Oh,
this
yeah.
because other people need to do
Oh,
things.
yes, please.
Moses.
Oof. There's only so many identities I can create, and
Yep.
that was going to happen whether I was with them or not.
It really was.
I mean, it might not have been some lady off the street.
It might have been me.
I need you to take naked pictures of this guy right here while he's still purple. And I'm saying he's full purple.
Oh.
So you were heading to the Tombstone Epitaph.
Yes.
All right. It's pretty easy to find. It's not a huge office, but they need the space for the press and everything. So they've got a little sign hanging out front. Obviously, there's not a queue to get in or anything, but there is a rather haggard-looking older gentleman behind the desk, kind of salt and pepper hair, huge walrus mustache, big bags under his eyes. Looks like he is not. He's not had a balanced diet in a while. He's just typing away, scribbling, just frantically going over some dispatches.
Pardon me.
Yeah. What you got? You got a story?
I don't know if I do yet or not.
Hmm.
These individuals that have come up the past couple days. I'm kind of curious if you have any details.
Well, of course I've got details, but you're gonna have to read them in the paper. I can't go just giving that out.
Well, of course, but the paper's not out yet, and I'm here a little early. Trying to remember, the epitaph is 2 bits, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll put $1 down on his desk.
Yoink. He doesn't even blink. He's just like, swoop. Okay, so here's what we've got. Well, wait. First, do you want to know about the people jerky or the stone wino?
All of it, actually.
All right. Well, the stone wino, there's really not a lot to go on. His name was Mervyn. Nobody really knew his last name. He never really bothered to give it. He wasn't a big name in town, but he was somebody, you saw around, sometimes doing an odd job, sometimes standing near carts, hoping to pick up anything that might have fallen off the back. You're kind of your typical dreg you get around here. He was found in the alley, completely stone, but still in his clothes, which was really weird. I mean, you could tell it was him. If for no other reason than nobody was going to make a fucking sculpture of him for any reason, put clothes on it and just leave it in an alley. There are no leads as to what happened to him. They could kind of test in his mouth, and like inside his mouth was also stone, like completely stone. I think somebody chiseled a finger off and sent it off for testing. But we haven't heard on that yet. Obviously, that's going to be quite some time. We just don't have the facilities here to actually test that. The people jerky, well, obviously, we had that nice young lady who was probably going to be a nun. She was looking at taking vows. You saw her around town too, just trying to do some good for all the good that it actually does in a place like this. Giving out what food she could scrounge up as a charitable act. You pretty much spent all of her time ministering to the poor and sick that she could. It was really well thought of. It's a terrible thing that happened to her. And the boy, well, we don't really know a lot about him either. He was the tailor's apprentice. Said he was really good with his hands, like he was really steady, did really fine stitching. Also, he didn't get out much either. You didn't really see him leave the tailor shop that often, and if he did, he was generally headed from one place to the other to get whatever he needed and go right back. Never heard of him gambling or frequenting any places where you could get a little horizontal refreshment, as it were. It was just.
Would you say he was devout?
I don't think he was. Nobody has said anything about him being like very religious. I think he was just incredibly awkward and uncomfortable around other people. The kind of person you would expect to have never been on a date, because either they could never bring themselves to ask anyone, or if anybody did ask them, they would freeze up, get terrified, and then just run away. So like I said, they don't have any enemies. I can't think of anything that would really make them stand out. I mean, they were just young people who died a terrible, terrible death of unknown means. I've heard of this whole thing about the chupacabra, and I'm going to put it in the article, but that's not what they do. You don't get them this far out, and they never attack people unless you're trying to stop them from getting at a goat. And last I heard, there weren't any goats in the tailor shop or the church.
Anything else unusual about their deaths that you can think of that's not going in the epitaph?
Well, looks around. The only other person is, you can see like in the back, somebody's like, they're setting letters in the press itself. Just kind of, but they don't really seem to be paying attention. And even if they did or were paying attention, they obviously work here. He goes, neither of the bodies had shadows. It was the weirdest thing. No matter where you sat them or shone any light on them, there was no shadow. The sheriff took the picture that Roy took, like right away. Roy did not get to keep that, but Roy told me about it. Like, he saw, while he was taking the picture, he saw that, there was a flash and just no shadow under the body. It's like the body wasn't even there as far as light was concerned.
You said the sheriff's already taken that picture.
Yeah.
Do you know of any affiliations the sheriff might have with other organizations, like maybe the Rangers or the Pinkertons?
Not that I've heard. You're about worn out your dollar, but the last thing I'll say on this is that the sheriff doesn't really like any other law enforcement type organizations being in his town. He has things pretty much the way he wants them and would like things to stay that way. So any Pinkertons or Rangers or Marshals or whatever who come through pretty quickly find themselves a good reason to keep on going through.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you as well.
All right. I need to go find Bang before
All right.
stirs up too much trouble.
Before we get to that,
Mhm.
Amanda and Irene.
Oh dear.
The tailor shop is open when you get there, but you know, there's like black ribbon across the windows, and there's a very somber air to the place when you go in. The man behind the counter is very tall, also very, very thin, long, nimble fingers, kind of like a less corpseified lurch, sort of just very deep voice, dressed, of course, incredibly nicely, hair well done, but you can tell there's some puffiness around the eyes and such that tells you that he's been mourning. But, you know, even that can't get in the way of business.
Oh, Amanda's about to make this so much worse. I'm sorry to bother you, sir. You see, my friend here, she's a little shy, and there was a young man that was working here the other day, who apparently, I guess, gave her a little bit of a look, and she's just a little too shy to say anything. Is he possibly around?
He just he goes from looking like he's putting on his best customer face to kind of just deflating a little, like you just kind of kicked him in the proverbial spiritual nuts right there. He's just like, well, I bear multiple layers of bad news there. First of all, he doesn't give anyone any looks. I don't think he knows what a look actually is, or knew what a look actually is. The other piece of bad news is that he died last night. I don't know if the word has gotten around to you yet, but something snuffed that poor boy's life out, and whatever it was wasn't human.
And to keep up the act, she'll just grab Irene's hand. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I know you were looking forward to it.
Irene is doing her best to keep her "I want to murder you" face off.
And the gentleman comes around the counter and it's just like, I'm sure, yeah, you seem like a lovely woman. I'm sure you will find love in your time. And if you'd like, I know a couple bachelors who might like to make your acquaintance.
That's okay.
Are you sure it'd be no trouble? I mean,
It's all right. She's just real shy, and I've just been trying to help her just get out of her shell. What? I know she didn't get to talk to him, so could you tell us a little bit about him?
I mean, he was a really bright, sweet boy. I guess young man, but I always kind of thought of him as a boy. He's, you know, been with me for years now. I took him in when his parents passed on, and he showed a real talent for tailoring, for design. He had a really neat, steady hand. Very bright. Really liked his books when he could get them. I tried to do what I could here, but the Tombstone Library burned down. They'd lose both books, not much else. Well, sleep in place for some folk, but you know, hard to get real books in here. But you know, he read the Epitaph all the time. didn't really have a lot of friends. I tried to encourage him to get out and about, but I have the feeling that if, a nice young lady had ever even put her hand on his knee, he would have just blushed so hard his head would have exploded. He's just, he'll be missed.
I understand that. I'm sorry for your loss. He sounds like a wonderful young man.
He was. He knitted the stole here, actually. This was the last thing he made. And he goes, and it's a garishly pink stole, tassels, like very frilly tassels and kind of a lacy pattern to it. He's just looks at it for a moment and then just sighs and hands it to Irene. He's like, I don't know if there was actually potential for anything there, but here, I'd like you to have this. No, really, I insist that you have this.
Irene, it would be rude. It'd be rude to deny him.
Irene is going to step on Amanda's toes. She'll take the stole.
There you go. Thank you. Did you need anything else? Fittings for a dress?
I was really hoping to let her talk to him, but since the unfortunate news, thank you.
Well, thank you as well. And if you need a dress, I mean, I think you would look lovely. One, he first points to Irene. We can definitely get you in something that flatters your figure.
Yeah, there's not much help for Amanda here.
Oh.
And he
Yep.
just kind of backs away
Yep.
slowly.
Yep.
He gets that sort of
It's all right.
glassy.
Yep.
They walk out arm in arm, just throwing elbows.
As soon as they're out the door, Irene is shoving that stole in Amanda's arms.
I deserve that. I'm sorry. I just needed to get that information as best as I could, and I didn't know a way to. I thought that was honestly going to be the best way to get that information, and we got our information. He was a quiet boy who didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Which means he was probably out by himself.
He's probably, I heard he was, Taylor was keeping him there as, or letting him sleep as, some kind of security. Maybe he heard a noise.
Maybe. But either way, he was alone. Where nobody could see him.
Same as unknown.
So we just gotta get me somewhere alone. Almost little sightlines.
Both the victims are rather young and,
And what?
unlikely to be, romantically attached. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
I mean, possibly. And she holds up her hand. Do you see a ring on my hand? My business has been my life.
After that performance, I can see why.
Trust me, that ain't the reason why I'm by myself.
This just turned into Pride and Prejudice. I love it.
Heavy on the prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging around with Bang probably doesn't help mine as much either.
Probably not.
or whatever.
All right.
Is that is Bang the name she would know? I forget.
No, she would know Minor.
Yeah, minor.
He was
Yeah.
minor
Minor.
first when Irene met him, and then now he's father.
Here's how hard I buy into this character. I forgot. I spent the whole episode going, what was he called before this? I couldn't remember what he was called before Father. I played it for several weeks, but yeah, I just wrote it down so I remember for next time. So, yeah.
Eventually, he will be known as Millie Vanilli.
City City Bang Bang.
Yep.
Full circle.
I'm both part of the bands. I fake everything.
Hey, woo. All right, I'm gonna make this easy. Just that everybody crosses paths as the first round of business is taken care of. So Father doesn't need to make it to the other photographer before
Well, I
Moses.
still needed to buy. Actually, I can summarize the visit in 3 sentences if you want, but I did need to still see him because I didn't get flash powder from the first guy. So go in and I say that I'm investigating on behalf of the family, and wearing the cross and everything else. Did he have a shadow is what I wanted to find out, and then I want to buy flash powder from him in the name of the Lord, and then and all of that very straight, very on the ball, and then right at the end of it, just before I walk out, and one more thing, if anybody asks, tell them I was mental, and then walk out the door.
Well, you get your answers.
Yeah,
You get a little flash powder,
that's all I need. Yep.
and he's not going to have any problems calling you mental
Yeah.
if anybody asks.
Mm-hmm.
Although after that first performance, it's going to seem like Father light.
Yeah. Well, I wanted
experience,
I
but-
wanted to just. The only reason I mentioned it is because I want them to be two very, very different sides of Father. Like he maniac the first one and then just dead calm the second one.
Well, all right. Then after that, everybody sort of meets up in the street. If you want to, or you can just
Yeah.
get a nod and head back to the however you want to do it.
Somewhere not in the street. Preferably somewhere where we're not going to be closely associated with talking with each other. Still have to be concerned with Honest John having his own eyes watching for us.
Yeah, especially with Irene not being publicly associated with a good
Did anybody ask the sheriff if this happens often, like on a regular basis, or is this a new thing?
Wouldn't Irene know that since she's been here for a while?
Irene has been here for a bit, so she would know.
Because if he does this every time he comes here,
Probably not been here more than a year, but
That would still be enough time to know that there really hasn't been like something like this before.
so she probably would she have seen Honest John in town in that year?
She would have seen him once before. She
Okay.
would know roughly what he looks like.
Just any potential incidences of him being in town. So, would she have seen or heard of this in her travels with the Pony Express at all?
Nothing quite like this. I mean, you can see where the Chupacabra, scuttlebutt kind of came from, the rumors and such, because it's really just the closest thing. Vampires still leave more fluid in a body than this, and there were no bite marks. Something like a giant mosquito could possibly exist, but you would have seen, once again, the puncture wounds and inflammation, and there would still be some moisture to the body.
Yeah, rather than some soiled dove desperate for pay, sucking someone dry.
But no, there's nothing like this in the travels. Nothing exactly like this in, has happened before in town that anybody knows of.
we can meet at Hank's house, right?
Yeah.
We've got
You
that as
could
our
meet
sort of
the
safe
ancestors.
place here, right? So yeah.
And that's where we left a good chunk of the
Back in there, yeah. It's the
fossil
gear.
fuel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Alright.
crap! We should hurry up. I don't know if anybody told him not to drink that.
You did. Somebody, I remember somebody mentioning, hey, just don't drink it. Don't let anybody touch it when you
But,
store it.
I mean, there's a difference between don't drink that and no, like don't drink that. Like the first one's like because it's mine. The second one's because like it'll turn you into a stoner.
Well, you can definitely hurry on there.
All right.
Well, meeting up at Hank's then.
Yep.
Mhm.
And however you decide to order that, if you're all splitting up and coming at it from different directions or whatnot, Hank will be there to greet you, welcome you in. Just kind of, come on in. Come on in. And I'll direct you to the sitting room you were all in before.
So, what did everybody find out?
Father, I see managed to not blow anything up.
As far as I know, the kid didn't have a shadow, and the photographer seemed a little freaked out by that, which makes sense to me. But also, the other thing I found out is that this town doesn't have social services worth a damn. But that's kind of besides the point. Yeah, no shadow, and he was really young. And I want to light up the night sky and put a whole lot of melt on this dude. I don't even care if it is Honest John anymore.
The other, that we know, this gentleman did not date. He was a rather shy individual.
Yes, I can confirm that through the epitaph as well. Matter of fact, he was well known for his shyness, not leaving the tailor's home, and was good with his hands. Our young lady was a very charitable individual, well known throughout the town for her good deeds.
But likely to be swearing in as a nun. Also not really the romantic type, as it were.
Well, I don't take that into account much because, well, points over at Bang. We got a father right there. Simply because someone has taken their oath or claiming to take the oath does not necessarily make them a person of pure heart or body.
Oh, yeah, I'm a father now, but I used to be quite the mother. But never mind.
My point exactly. But based on her actions and what was well known about her and what was well known about him, preliminary, it appears that the victims may be being chosen based off of their virtue and their solitude. The epitaph was also able to confirm there was no shadow. And strangely enough, the sheriff was very keen on hiding that fact, in that he confiscated the death photo, which is very unusual.
He was really insisting on not investigating when that poor girls turned up dead.
Now, it could be that he is keen on keeping people calm and not causing a panic, but we do have to take into consideration he may be more aware of what's going on than others are able to determine. Am I being paranoid? Probably. But then again, we're all still alive right now.
Well, this is Honest John's town, and we suspect Honest John might be the one doing this.
Well, this isn't Honest John's town, but he may have the connections he needs here to do what he needs to do.
Sheriff might be in his pocket the other way.
Might be. Or possibility the sheriff may be the one doing it.
Is there a possibility, Irene, that Honest John is the sheriff?
Well, I've seen both of them. That they're not the same person, right?
Nope, they don't look at all alike. The sheriff.
They look about as alike as you and my father here.
So a little bit in the dark at a distance. Got it.
If you're wearing her dress.
When? Never mind.
Like, if you want us to get you, Hank chimes in. He's like, if you want us to get you a dress so you can test this, we can do that.
Oh no, that would mean I'd have to be defrocked.
This means we have to change our bait.
Why?
Yeah, I thought Amanda would made a perfect lonely
Because Amanda is not well known. Amanda will not have a public reputation being a good soul.
And after last time, she might be well known around certain types.
Well, if there was a young lady who wanted to be a nun, then there's got to be a nunnery around here somewhere. Isn't that where you grow them?
Not quite.
Mm.
I think we'd be better off keeping our ears to the ground for similar individuals of.
But I still match all the requirements. Besides being no.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly made your mark on a whole lot of boots the other night.
Keeping away men.
Don't necessarily think that this is a matter of turning heads. I don't know if they're picking folks for their reputation or if they have some other way of.
When I was walking that night, I felt like somebody was watching me. So maybe if I'm just in the right part of town, we might get him out.
So what
Maybe
if
it's
we...
just a thing of me being in the wrong place at the right time.
So we dress you all innocent like, and most animals I know hunt in the same places over and over, so maybe we put you behind the church?
Here's the other wrinkle. If it is Honest John who's doing these killings,
He'll know my face the minute he sees me.
or may already know that you're trying to lure him out.
Well, either way, he's got to get close enough to see her face, and that should be close enough.
To set off a light.
And then we just pour shit and abuse on that boy until he stops moving.
We just gotta get him close enough. That's all we gotta do.
Are you sure you're okay with this?
I just want to understand. I want to catch him right where he stands.
You want to look him in the eyes and lean in and look in your eyes. There's way more to you than I thought there was.
I just want the last thing for him to hear is that you do not mess with my brother.
Hang on a second. And I pull out a little piece of paper and a quill, I guess, and some ink maybe, and script something down on a piece of paper, and then lick the back of it and try and stick it to Amanda. You need a label, and it won't stick. And I finally fold it and like tuck it in somewhere. You can't quite see it from where you are, I'm assuming.
What does it say?
You're gonna go over and have a look?
She's gonna take it off and look.
Okay. It says, you're the older sister, right? You're older
Yeah.
than, yeah.
By a second, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It says, big sister levels of brave.
Thank you, Bang.
Circling back to that dress thing, Amanda did get you something at the tailor shop.
What?
Irene, I'm sorry about that again. Out of the two of us, I thought it would be more believable if it was you over me.
All wrong.
What did you get?
Amanda will hold up the gaudy knitted pink thing. This is the last thing that tailor boy made.
That's amazing.
Did he make it for someone in particular?
Not to my knowledge.
Taylor gave it to me for reasons.
Reasons.
Let's just say I said that a certain Irene here may have had a bit of a crush on the tailor boy.
Oh, so you should be wearing this. And I point at Irene.
No.
But he had a crush on you. Wait a minute, he never met you. How did he have a crush on you?
I just needed the gentleman to start talking.
Oh, I see. It's you that had the crush on the boy. Well, that makes sense because you got the thingy.
I'm just gonna give up on that one right there.
Irene's just nodding.
I think Irene should be all bait.
And if we put you behind the church wearing that stole, that's double bait. Only one thing, though, Amanda/Elizabeth. You want to look him in the eyes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do it quick.
Irene, I do not mind to be bait. This is your...
You were baiting me, looking to shoot anyone comes close, this makes sense to me.
Or do we make sure that you are close enough to shoot him if he gets close?
I can make it so you'll be able to see him. I'm going to bring the holy fire.
Father, don't burn down the church.
Damn it, you figured it out. I'm just about to type it in, by which I mean burn down the church.
Does anyone have a coin? I don't have a coin on me. I was like, I'm gonna roll a.
Highs or
I'll
lows?
do a deep. I was gonna do even and rod.
Oh, okay, even or odds. You got it, then. You go. You do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shoot. Amy, even or odd?
Odd.
1
Uh,
for Irene to be the bait.
Oh no.
okay.
If you don't want it,
Yeah.
Amanda does not mind.
I guess Irene will be the bait. So,
I'm going to say, Amanda does not mind. She's impulsive. This is one of her things.
There you
I
go.
mean, Irene's major flaw is heroic.
Yeah, that's a bad combination.
Also, doesn't help that Amanda's also curious.
Yeah.
So that is very much playing into this of her curiosity of how does he kill these people?
Yeah.
And how can I replicate it?
No. Bad.
Yep. Yep. That's why Ben got in close for the look. He wants to see whether you want it or whether you want to stop it. And I didn't even. Yeah. I'll figure that
You
out.
see, what you need is you need a metal straw, and you just got to really sharpen one end of it.
It's in there somewhere.
Though, given out of character considerations, I don't know how well Irene would serve as bait, but
I suppose that depends on how virtuous you feel Irene actually is.
well, I don't know that she's ever really with a man, but
Yeah. There you go. Throw that back. Does
There-
that
there's
count?
our
huh?
answer.
Yeah.
The answer is not.
Virtue
See
is
a
not
bunch
a
of,
matter
a bunch of
one's
vampire
sexuality.
philosophers sitting around the table discussing that for days at a time. Does that count? I don't know.
Virtue is not a measure of your sexuality.
That is absolutely true. Yep.
It is a measure of one's
It-
kindness and one's soul.
Either way, it's a long night. In the worst case scenario, we can have you walk through, and then the other one walks through, and the other one walks through.
Or we could have man of the cloth walk through.
man of the cloth, probably pretty virtuous.
Oh, since like day before yesterday, absolutely, yes.
That's why we should put Moses in it.
I'll stand out there behind the church. I don't care. I'll find him.
So maybe we make more than one bait. Maybe each of us is bait.
Don't want to
Wait,
spread
wait,
out.
wait, wait, wait. Then who's the fisherman?
The fisherman comes when they see the fire.
Instead of using a line, we're using a net.
Oh, I see. That way only one of us has to be pure of heart. Well then. Yeah. You already met him. They said that young fellow was very good with his hands. Spent a lot of time alone in his room.
So the plan.
But he never got around to threading the needle. You know.
That's right.
So the plan is father by the church, right?
That makes sense.
Moses, would you mind being by the tailor shop?
Not at all.
Irene, you and I will each find places. Maybe you can tell us which ones are the best ones. The quietest areas.
Probably. Yeah, I think I've been around town long enough to know that.
Yeah, you would have a good idea of where people don't generally tend to go. which is again the small library, the church for the most part, a couple other little places in town where it's just not a lot of hooting and hollering.
Given the idiom used earlier, let's not put Bang near the church.
But I'm thematically consistent.
Or,
That's the
near
only
the
reason
library,
why.
I meant. Near the library. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And Amanda will pull out 4 bottles. Father, can you possibly fill these with something that we can use in an instant to create a lot of light if we need to?
Oh, here! And I hand you one of the 2 liters of kerosene that I had bought. So that's like 4 cups. That's what I give you, and I keep 4 myself. Light that up. It makes light. That's why they put it in lamps. It's also kind of sticky and burns for quite a while.
So, look through bag again, find some rags. Here,
Oh, kerosene Molotov cocktails? Yeah.
this is what we'll use. If it's one of us, Light and Chuck.
Well, you guys can use those. Trust me, I can make a fire. Well, so we each go to a quiet spot on the edge of town and act like innocent people and see who he attacks. And then we converge and smash the shit out of him. Amen.
Exactly.
Moses,
That should work.
what do you think?
I think it's the best plan we have so far, considering the details that we have. Marshall, how far apart are these locations? Would we be able to?
You're not going to be able to converge right away. They're all spaced out enough that it would take a couple minutes for the closest, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, Tombstone wasn't exactly huge, but it is bustling. So depending on the crowd and everything, the closest person, it's kind of a staggered, like from one end of town to the other. The places set out could
Would
take
we,
a couple.
would we be able to at least keep some kind of eye on each other?
I think that's what the fires were for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Set off a
Yeah,
fire.
because
If we get caught,
yeah, I mean the one who's going to have the most trouble really is going to be Father out by the church, because the church is very much at the outskirts.
Yep.
Everyone else, you can at least kind of keep an eye on the area each of you are supposed to be. But to really be able to see each other, you'd pretty much have to be standing on the street, looking up and down the street to keep tabs on each other. And that's not really, I feel like, what the plan is. You want to be a little more isolated.
All right. I'm not 100% comfortable with it, but it's the best we've got.
Yeah, the only problem I can see is out of character is somebody's gonna object. He's just not here this week.
But he's back at the mining camp.
Yep.
You definitely object to Amanda being bait again.
Yep.
You
Yep.
did object last time.
Yep, he'd be up. Yep.
Yep.
We just won't tell him. Shh.
I'm just Elizabeth is going to write a note and give it to Hank
Mhm.
in case the worst happens.
I'll make sure he gets it.
Thank
I'll
you.
make sure he knows that it was Bang's idea.
Perfect.
That Bang guy's responsible for a lot of shit. I hope I never meet him.
So, what time of day is it at? Would it be getting dark?
It's starting to get towards twilight. Y'all met up at around kind of noon. back to town. Didn't take super long to achieve all of your goals. So yeah, I would say it's getting on towards sunset.
All right. Bang, you go on out first. Then Irene, Moses, and I'll go last.
Okay. However this turns out, never mind, we'll be fine. Oh, I remember. Bless you. There we go. And then,
All right. So everybody kind of scatters and goes to their assigned places, and we're going to. At first, nothing happens. Even though you're kind of in quiet places, there's still some traffic coming through pretty much every area. You know, everybody's getting geared up for the big night because once again, nights are really where it's at for making money or spending money or
so I want
just
to be sitting behind the church pretending to drink my bottle of fossil fuel that I brought with me and pretending to
Okay.
get drunker and drunker out back.
Okay. So, drunken priest. Right.
Amazing grace,
Oh, no.
sing some stuff. Yeah,
Somewhere
that
out in the
for a long
darkness,
time, yeah.
a couple of coyotes join in.
You guys are off tune. Like, come on. Yeah.
All right. Moses, you get a few looks for being, kind of hanging around where a gruesome murder recently happened, but you don't seem like you're actually gonna do anything untowards. So mostly you're just kind of ignored. Let's see, Amanda, you're gonna be by the library?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Obviously, there's not much traffic by the library. There's a couple of folks who are kind of settling in behind it to sleep off in early drunk, but they're not like directly in view. Doesn't seem like they're going to be really involved in whatever's going on otherwise than maybe waking up and running away if things get hairy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Irene, you're over. The only other real place that would be kind of quiet at this point would be over by the press and photographers and such. They do some work in the evenings, but not a lot. Most of it's done in the daytime to make best use of sunlight for their pictures. So it's quiet there, mostly locked shops, people kind of passing through, and not a whole lot is happening. So let's go. I'm gonna start father. Mm-hmm. Moses. Irene. Almost fell. Let's try it again. All right. And Amanda. Okay, then. For a good chunk of the evening, just really nothing seems like it's going on. Nothing's really gonna happen. Obviously, nobody's gonna bother the drunk priest behind the church. The unaccompanied ladies get an eye or two, but word has gotten around about melted boots for Amanda, and Irene has been around enough for the men folk to kind of make it known to each other that she just ain't interested and she's armed. And I said, Moses, you're just mostly left alone, maybe given a side eye once or twice by folks who are wondering if you're going to maybe jump them since it's kind of in a dark alley-ish way. But just as full dark really sets in, Amanda, you hear a very slithery, sort of dry, scaly almost voice, like if somebody could make a snake talk. speak out of the darkness behind you. Well, aren't you a juicy looking one? And that's where we're going to close the curtain.
Yes. And it's even worse than that. It's
Oh.
even worse than that because we will not be here next week. So 2 weeks before we're back, right, Marshall?
Yeah, well,
Yep.
yep.
Back in 2 weeks.
Back in 2 weeks. So you'll see us
yes.
again on the 14th.
Yes, or thereabouts. Because I'm bad with calendars. So, yes, we will see you in 2 weeks. This was, by the way, an act. I am not, in fact, a priest. That is as close, I realized, as I have ever come to cosplaying a character. The only other time I have ever dressed up on stream was Halloween, and I wore a skanky little dress. The very, very one of those like the Halloween store ones. It wasn't even. I went there looking for like the proverbial sort of sexy nurse dress or something, and I saw all of those, and then I saw one that just says sexy dress. Like they're not even pretending that it's anything. That's like that's the one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sat and did a fairly scary game dressed in purple sequins and tiny straps. But other than that, this is the only other time I've dressed up, and it was a piece of paper. So thank you for that opportunity. Will the
was
vampire
fantastic.
be Amanda's Valentine? Oh, we're coming back on Valentine's Day.
Amanda's got a date for next
Oh
session.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to roll up another character, I think.
You're gonna have to explain to your brother how you found love.
Cling tightly to my back, spider monkey.
Right outside a library. He's ever so
Yeah.
smart and well read. Anyway, I'm going to thank some people. But first, some things. The rest of this week is looking pretty good, except for tomorrow night. Big major change coming with the game that normally runs on Wednesday night, and we need a week to figure it out. So we are taking tomorrow night off. We're going to do a reset and figure out exactly what we're doing. It's really cool. We just got to get the corners buffed off and make sure it's going to work. And then we'll be back a week after that to start that show again. And then on Thursdays, we have Deviant Futures on Thursday. Nobody that's worse than this show. They've gone through more name changes, more art changes than than any other show I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. Every time I tune in and say, "Who's that?" They didn't tell me anybody died. No, nobody died. What do you mean nobody died? Everybody's name is different. Yeah, but nobody died. Okay. Half the art's different. Yeah, but nobody died. All right.
For whatever reason, my characters really like to just.
Yep.
Let's just change it today.
So
I think
tune in
Woods
on-
is the only one who has not changed at all.
Tune in on Thursdays and see what the
Due to
hell
the
they do
undead,
this week.
not change.
Yes, you got to fit in now. But and then on Friday this week, you may have noticed my energy level was kind of roofed tonight. I'm gonna be honest. I am so looking forward to Friday night. I am going to put my ass on the line, and I challenge all of the Twitch. We are going to do a Twitch plays of the extraordinary adventures of Baron Munchausen, which means I get a 1-sentence trigger to tell you a 5-minute story, and anybody watching can interrupt that story and make me change parts of it while staying on task. So tune in to see that. There's no dice, there's no nothing, just flat out storytelling. So tune in to see. Look how excited I am. I just about broke my knuckles. I'm squeezing so hard. I'm looking forward to that. Then Saturday we go Dead to Rights, which I'm excited about too because it's a weird thing. It's YouTube succeeding. I keep making the joke that like YouTube is where we put stuff. It's like our storage. The algorithm has decided that Dead to Rights is a nice thing, and we're seeing well into the double digits, 30 views on some of them. So I'm really happy with that. So that's another success in a completely different format that we weren't even looking for. So yay! And then on Sunday we've got our Gorgeous Data game, our space game, which is gritty and dark and joyous and wondrous, and I'm looking forward to all of it. So tune in for all of that. And then tune in again next week for almost all of it again. But until then, and until night after tomorrow this time, for those watching us live, thank you. to Sarah, to Shadow, to Amy, and to Kyle for putting up with my nonsense tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming and playing this game. But on top of that, thank you for putting up with my foolishness. And then everybody in chat, thank you as well. That chat was great tonight. So many puns, so many jokes. It was wonderful. And a thank you to all the people on YouTube, because apparently you're there. So thank you for watching it there too. Hit the buttons, both the buttons. You know what they do. You know why you're hitting them. Other people have explained it better than me. But here's something that I will explain. Because until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Nitro.